Welcome to my weekly video blog. This week I'm sort of tying up loose ends in the getting to know me set before we move on to the next season, and I want to just spend a few moments about talking to you about two of my tours. In terms of their greater impact on my life, very, very small indeed, in fact. But they were both interesting and things that I'd like to share. So we'll start with the Odyssey tour. This was the first tour that I ever did, if you want to call it a tour, because before then I had only ever done vintage tours with my family. And before then we did holidays, but they didn't even class really on my radar as being anything but a summer holiday, I suppose. Our summer holidays really, we never went abroad. The first time we went abroad was, like I said, during the first vintage tour. That was the first time. I have to say that my father and I used to do things for my birthday that sometimes involved going away, and one of the trips we did was to the Republic of Ireland, in fact, and that was for, I think that was 2000, and that was for my birthday, there is a quail flapping around out there. And we went to Dublin, which was nice, and we sort of toured the Wicklow Mountains and Kildare, and yeah, it was great. We went for about a week, I think, but I didn't really count that as a tour because it was my sort of birthday treat, if you like, and it was the last one. It was the last major one that I had. You know, they've done little things, but that was the culmination of sort of birthday treats. After that, birthday treats just sort of vanished, really. I had passed 18 years by that time, so, you know, they weren't really obliged. No, the Europa Tour, the first Europa Tour, which was called Odyssey, that was to Greece, and it was the first time that I had been abroad in terms of outside of the British Isles. Obviously I'd been to Scotland and Wales by then. I'd been to Ireland, as I said, well, the Republic. I've never been to Northern Ireland, and I'd been to the Channel Islands. But this time I was going on my own. This was the first holiday I had on my own, if you like, and it was the first holiday that I'd gone properly abroad, if that makes sense. And I went to Greece, and I spent a good week touring the Peloponnese. And the Peloponnese is the sort of bottom bit of Greece that sort of sticks out. You've got the mainland of Greece, you've got all the little Greek islands, and then you've got a sort of peninsula, if you like, and that is the Peloponnese. And so I started in Athens, and we went all the way around the Peloponnese, which was good because that has a lot of the ancient Greek sort of sites on it. You know, we visited Sparta, Olympia, Delphi, Corinth, you know, all the sort of places around there. It was, you know, that quail is getting on my nerves. I don't know how my neighbours haven't complained about the noise that those birds make sometimes, but anyway. So I went on my own, but it was a package tour. So yeah, that was gosh, when was that? That must have been 2001. And then 2002 was the second Europa Tour, and that was a package tour around continental Europe, but the north. So we did like the Netherlands area, Amsterdam, that area. We went on a little trip down the Rhine, in fact, on a boat, looking at all the castles. It's very, very picturesque indeed. Although it did rain something chronic when we stayed at this little sort of town on the side of one of the sort of mountains, and the torrents of water. I've never seen anything like it. It was like a flash flood. That night, in fact, in the hotel was the first time I ever watched arachnophobia. I can't even say it now. Arachnophobia, and it was all in English subtitles because obviously I was in Germany. So it didn't quite scare me as much as maybe it would have done if it was in English, because I was trying to concentrate on the words. I am sort of semi-literate, so to speak, in German, but you know, it was going way over my head, far too fast for me. And then we crossed the border and we went into Switzerland. Was it Switzerland? Yes, it was Switzerland. And we went up Mount Titlis in a cable car, which was weird because I don't do heights, and this cable car went really high. But it was quite fun. It was quite fun. It was a huge cable car. It was more like the sort of size of a minibus. Really, it wasn't sort of tiny or anything. It was very big. And the whole mechanism of moving is very chunky, so it sort of felt a bit like flying. I was okay flying, not too happy about takeoff and landing, but once we're up in the air, it's fine because you look out of the window, you see the tiny little cities below, and it feels unreal. It doesn't feel scary. You don't feel high up. It just feels completely unreal to me. And it was a little bit like that in the cable car. We were sort of so high up and in such a huge structure that it just didn't feel very unsafe. And then I think we worked our way back through France. So yeah, I did say that I would cover these tours because, you know, I suppose they are big things for me. I go on holiday on my own because I have nobody to go with. And these were my first sort of ventures in that, if you like. And they were package tours. But I would go on my own, and I really enjoyed them. I have lots and lots of memories. I do have quite a few pictures from the days where you actually developed photographs, you know, before digital cameras, that sort of thing. So yeah, and then of course I didn't go abroad on holiday during 2003, 2004, 2005 because my annus horribilis in 2003 stopped that. And 2004 and 5 I was down in London, and so I didn't do anything then, and that sort of brings us up, if you like, to the end of the season of my life, which was the Primrose Path, and now next week we can go on into the next season. And how exciting is that for you? It must be exciting. Even I'm beginning to get bored about talking about myself. God knows what anybody watching this feels like, but there we are. Has to be done, and I'll see you next time. But before I go, I shall leave you with the birthdays. First of all, a little congratulations, in fact, to Tom de Blas, who took part in competition this week against somebody who I think was sort of ranked as #1 in the world. I could be wrong there. Anyway, did he win? Well, not exactly, but he didn't lose. It was actually classed as a draw. So well done to him and the other person as well on that. Now, in terms of birthdays, we don't have very many. We only have 4. We've got Dawn Meakin, who has just left the workplace that I work in. We've got Leonard Garcia, Tina Lewis, who I happen to know won't get this at all because she'll be in Spain for her birthday, and Tom Bryden. So happy birthday to all of those. I hope you eat lots of cake, and God willing you won't end up as fat as me.